Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, good afternoon. This is the day that the Lord has made. We are rejoicing and we are glad in it. Today is Wednesday, W-I-N-S day. It is a Wednesday, July the 17th, 2024. We are live right here in the beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta during this 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time hour. If you're coming on, joining me live, good afternoon to you, maybe good morning. You might be in a different place of the world. If you are, good morning, good afternoon, happy Wednesday. Welcome to the Ramon Preston Show. If you would be so kind, I want you to put in the comments what city you're watching us from today. I love to know where you're watching the Ramon Preston Show from today. For those of you that don't know, my name is Ramon Preston. I'm your host. My squad and I, we're here live. So if you have any questions about your business, about a ministry, if you have any questions about your systems, your processes, your structure, or anything regarding your business or the finances or operations concerning your business, please put the questions in the comments, and my team and I, my squad and I, we're going to do everything we can to get to your comments, to get to your questions. But I want you to put in the comments, what city you're watching your boy from today, who you're representing. All right, today we're going to be asking a question, and my conversation with you, my discussion, maybe dialogue. I'm going to center my conversation and discussion around a very important question. This question I've been asking all of the people who are in my community, whether I'm coaching them, consulting them, or educating them. I've been asking them this question. Is your business acquisition worthy? Is your business acquisition worthy? So that's what we're going to be talking about today, all right? We're going to be talking about how do you position your business to become acquisition worthy, all right? Now, when I say acquisition worthy, what am I talking about? Well, I'm really talking about you putting your business in a position to be acquired. So if you wanted to sell your business, or if someone did want to buy your business, the question that you should be asking yourself is my business acquisition worthy? Is my business positioned to be sold? Now, why am I asking this question, and why am I having this conversation with my community? Well, just in case you don't know me personally, or you haven't been around me long enough, I'm this kind of person. When I start pivoting into certain strategies, when I start implementing and executing certain things and seeing results, one of the first things that I like to do is share it with the people I love. I mean, it's just the way it is. If you get a big win, you want to call the people you love to tell them about your win. So I'm just one of those people by default. I'm automatically that person. So as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, when I start tapping into other strategies and other things in business, I like to share it with my community. So for me, of course, I am a consultant, a coach, an educator. I do that in my sleep, especially when it comes to business, ministry, the structuring of these entities, the integration of, the basic systems and processes. Like, I'm that guy when it comes to the consulting, coaching, and education. There's some things I don't talk about in that area, but there's a lot of things that I do talk about because I know very well, all right? I'm also a real estate investor. I'm a creative real estate investor. So there's a niche in the creative real estate investing world that I'm very good at and that I do on a day-to-day basis. Well, one of my goals is to pivot into business acquisitions and at some point take my expertise with real estate acquisitions and business acquisitions and create syndications, crowd funds, and ultimately become an asset manager. That's my ultimate goal. That's my dream. That's what I want to do for a lot of different reasons, okay? Well, with that being said, I'm really just giving you a backdrop to why I'm talking about helping you position your business to become acquisition worthy, all right? So sorry to take the long way home. So just within the last couple of days, we have launched a new division under our investment and asset management company. And this division is for the acquisition of businesses. So we're already participating in real estate acquisitions. Now we're moving into business acquisitions. And for at least the last year, I've been getting personal mentoring, and I've been really educating myself on all the ins and outs of business acquisitions to know it like I know real estate acquisitions. So again, it's just in my nature, when I learn things and when I start implementing and executing on things, I want to share that with you. And one of the things that I've learned just within the last year, as I have been preparing to pivot into business acquisitions, to acquire other businesses, one of the things that I've learned is, if you're going to buy businesses, if you're going to acquire other companies, you want to make sure that your business is acquisition worthy. Okay? You want to make sure that your business is in a position to be acquired, even if you're not selling it, because it gives you the ability to learn a lot of what's important when it comes to buying businesses, okay? Now, again, I can talk about all of this with real estate because I know how to acquire real estate. I understand real estate acquisitions. I mean, I've done it long enough to understand it. Business acquisitions, on the other hand, is different. So I want you to ask yourself today, based on where your business or your businesses are, where your business, if it's one business is, or if it's multiple business, based on where your business enterprise is today, ask yourself the question, is my business acquisition worthy? Is it worthy enough to be sold today? And if it's not worthy enough, which when I asked myself this question a couple months ago, I was actually having a conversation with an attorney friend of mine that I work with very closely, and he helps me with a lot of the things that I'm working on doing and that I'm continuing to do. And while he was talking about some of the legalities about business acquisitions, I asked myself that question. Ramon, is your business acquisition worthy? And while I'm asking myself that question, I'm thinking to myself, nah, bro, your business ain't acquisition worthy. Your business is not in a position to be sold if you wanted to sell it. There are certain things you still need to work on. So I've had this conversation for the past couple of weeks with my students and mentees who are in my coaching and mentorship community. And I just thought today I'll take a few minutes to share with you some things that you need to consider working on if you want your business to be acquisition worthy. And again, it doesn't mean you're going to sell your business. It doesn't mean that's what your goal is. But what it does mean is, if your business is acquisition worthy, if it's positioned to be sold, that means you have positioned yourself to exit that business. Does that make sense? Okay? I want you to understand that. So selling your business equals acquisition worthy. For you to sell your business, that means your business has to be acquisition worthy, if that makes sense. In order for you and I to sell our businesses today or put it on the market, that means our businesses have to be acquisition worthy. If our businesses are acquisition worthy, that has to mean that we are positioned to exit the business. I hope you're following me, okay? So if you're in a position to sell your business because your business is put together correctly, it's valuable, it's worthy, it's worth something. If you're in a position to sell your business, that means your business is acquisition worthy. If your business is acquisition worthy, that means you as an individual, you as the owner of the business, you are positioned to exit the entire business. Because if you were not positioned to exit a business entirely, it wouldn't be acquisition worthy. You wouldn't be able to sell it. So the fact that you are positioned to exit the entire business, let me put that here, to exit the entire business. I'm going somewhere with this, so I hope you're tracking me. If you are positioned to exit the entire business, that means you are also positioned to exit any role that you play in your business. So you see how that works? So let's go back to this question. Is your business acquisition worthy? Meaning that, can you sell your business? I'm asking myself the same question. I've been asking myself for the last couple of months, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm not acquisition worthy. But when I get to a place where my business can be sold, that means my business is acquisition worthy. That means I'm positioned to exit my entire business. But in order for me to get to a place where I'm positioned to exit my entire business, I need to get positioned to exit any role in my business. This is why it's so important to make your business acquisition worthy. Because if you're working on developing and building and strengthening your business, that for it to be actually sold, that means you have to work on yourself. That means you have to learn to exit certain roles. That means you got to get good enough to be able to put this area of your business together, if I'm making sense. And you got to be able to have enough revenue to hire people, to duplicate yourself in a certain area of your business, to pivot into another role, to exit this role, and just to keep rinsing and repeating that process until you get to a point one day where you're really not doing anything that you did do, because now you've been able to exit all of those roles, and it makes it easier to exit a business if you want to exit. And again, these are principles and concepts that I've been learning just for the past year. So that means a year ago, before I started getting mentored and coached and educated on business acquisitions, I really didn't understand a whole lot of the stuff I understand now. You can learn a whole lot in a year. I know I can, because I'm a bookworm. I'm a student of life. So I just want all of you that are watching me to understand how important it is for you, at least where we are in entrepreneurship. I just want you to understand how important it is for you to make your business acquisition worthy. You might not understand it right now, but I promise you this, in the next 3 to 5, maybe 6 years, if it doesn't matter what you do, within the next 3 to 6 years, when you see how things are going to change for entrepreneurs, when you see how many people become millionaires and multimillionaires and billionaires within the next 3 to 6 years, and when you see that one of the vehicles that they are using to become millionaires, multimillionaires, billionaires, is acquisitions, you will come back to this conversation and say, Ramon was talking about this in 2024. Ramon was telling us that he had been preparing himself. He had been preparing his company. He had been preparing his team. He had been preparing his community, the people that he loves and that he connects with on a day-to-day basis. He had been preparing them the same way he's been preparing, and we see why that preparation was so important. Is it easy? Absolutely not. Because if it was that easy, everybody would be doing it. It's not easy, but nothing is easy when it comes to entrepreneurship, business ownership, building these businesses that you own. growing them and making them successful enough that you can actually exit them or sell them if in fact that's what you want to do. So what are some things you need to do to position your business to become acquisition worthy? Well, there are certain positions you want to put your business in, okay? I'm going to just give you 5, and I might not be able to get into all the weeds of them, but I'm going to just give you 5 positions in your business that you need to be working on, okay? So you need to make sure that you put your business in the best financial position, you put your business in the best legal position, you put your business in the best commercial position, you want to put your business in the best operational. Let me see, legal. I'm losing space. So let me do this again. Legal, commercial, operational, if I could spell it right, and then we have cultural. So these are the 5 positions you want to put your business in to become acquisition worthy. The best financial position, the best legal position, the best commercial position, the best operational position, the best cultural position. And again, a couple months ago when I was having this conversation with a business attorney regarding me working towards acquiring other businesses, this was one of the conversations that I had with him, and this was something that was important to the mentorship that I've been getting on business acquisitions, which, by the way, I've learned this lesson probably just within the last 5 or 6 years. I didn't really understand this as much as I do now, like I started 5 or 6 years ago. But up until maybe 5 or 6 years ago, I really wasn't big on getting mentorship and coaching for business. It really wasn't because I was arrogant or prideful, at least in my estimation, I didn't think I was, because I was familiar with coaching and mentorship and submitting to leadership in ministry. I'm a preacher, so I understand having spiritual fathers and mothers in the faith and having people that you look up to, having pastors and people who could speak into you and mentor you and help you along the way, people that can hold you accountable. So I've always had that as a Christian. I've always had that as a pastor and as a preacher in ministry. But I really didn't understand it in business like I did in ministry. It took me a little while to understand that the same way you have a pastor in ministry, a pastor as a Christian, you can have a mentor, somebody that assumes that kind of role in business. The same way you have an apostle or spiritual father and mother, someone who covers you and holds you accountable in ministry. If you are a leader, you can have that in business as an entrepreneur. Once I connected the dots and realized that, oh my God, wow, all I got to do is just find people in business that I can align with, that we share the same values and views on. And if I connect with them, wow, I can actually learn quicker and get further and accelerate my whole process. Now, one of the biggest differences, I thought I'd just share this with y'all. One of the biggest differences is, as a Christian, when you have a pastor, you don't necessarily have to pay the pastor. You're not paying the pastor to be your pastor. You might be paying your tithes. You might give an offering at the church every week. You might be a blessing to the pastor, but you're not obligated to actually pay the pastor to be your pastor. If you are a leader in ministry, you're not really obligated to pay your tithes to that leader, but we do. We sow into our leaders in ministry. We be a blessing to them. That's what we love to do. But in business, most of the times you are obligated, because if somebody's going to be coaching you and mentoring you and always there for you, hey, it is what it is. It ain't church. It ain't nonprofit. It ain't volunteer work. They got to get paid for what they do. So that means you got to buy their courses. You got to pay to go to their events. You got to pay money to be in their circle, to be in the room with them. You need to pay to play. And I think for me, coming out of ministry, it took me a while to process that, to understand that, yeah, over here in ministry, somebody can mentor you, coach you, be there for you, pray for you, encourage you, consult you, advise you. They can do all that. And a lot of times they'll do it for free because it's their reasonable service. And you determine what you give them based on what you feel like they deserve in terms of a love offering or sowing a seed into them. Over here in business, I had to learn that. So all you that are Christians and you are part of the church, this is a transition you got to make to understand. In business, people ain't just doing stuff for you for free. And you can't get offended by that. You got to understand these are things that people do and they need to get paid for it. So with that being said, if I have to have it, you have to have it, okay? So now if you want to have a business that you know you can exit one day, or it's at least worthy enough to be sold one day, you have to work on that business. And I'm telling you, you want to put that business in the best financial position as possible. So now when I talk about putting your business in a financial position to be acquisition worthy, what are some things that I'm talking about? I'm not going to have a whole lot of time to get into like a lot of the details of it, but what are some things that am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about financially, you need to have a QuickBooks setup. You need to be familiar with QuickBooks or some type of accounting system. You shouldn't be writing everything down and, you just stacking receipts and putting them in the box. We did that 25 years ago. Today, you got apps on your phone. You got software and platforms you can use like QuickBooks. So you could track all your income and expenses. You should be able to go to QuickBooks that your business has, and you should be able to look at your profit and loss statement today. You should be able to look at a balance sheet today. If you don't have the ability to do that, you're not putting your business in the best financial position. Does that make sense to you? Okay? So putting your business in the best financial position means that you have a QuickBooks account or something similar. You understand the basics of profit and loss statements, P&Ls. You need to know the basics of it. You need to be able to go to your QuickBooks or have someone go to your QuickBooks and print out a profit and loss statement for, let's say, January 1 to today, to July 17th. If you cannot do that and nobody in your business can do that, you're in trouble. You're not putting your business in the best financial position. You need to understand the basics of a balance sheet. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I know a whole lot about QuickBooks. I do understand the basics of a balance sheet, but I'm not as sophisticated as my CPA is. Of course I'm not. I'm not a CPA. So a lot of times I got to call them and ask them questions about how do I put this into my QuickBooks? What chart of accounts do I need to have it in? How do I need to class this or itemize this? But I know enough, as I like to say, you just need to know enough to be dangerous, right? Okay? You need to understand your company's cash flow, meaning that I need to be able to look at what came in, what went out, and how much was left. And if in fact there is money in the bank that matches what it's saying is left. I need to understand cash flow. And to be honest with you, having a cash flow statement is going to differentiate all these other statements you're going to have because you want to see how much money you actually got. Okay? You want to familiarize yourself with your business surplus account. You need to have a certain amount of money as surplus set aside. Working capital, that's another amount of money you want to have as working capital. Most of the times your surplus might be on average 1 month equivalent to all your operational expenses. Your working capital might be about 2 months. So at any given time, you might need about 3 months of the equivalent of what your operational expenses are sitting in some accounts just to represent surplus and working capital. Okay? You also want to familiarize yourself with capital expenses, things that your business is going to need to do along the way. Now, CapEx is a very familiar term in real estate. So if you're in real estate, you know what CapEx is. But if you're not, you need to have these things built into your financial position for your business, all right? Your legal position. What legal position do you want to put your business in? Well, we're talking about making sure you do your tax returns. Even if you're showing a loss every year, you still want to have those tax returns, okay? Now, a lot of us, I'm going to say us, because I was the same way, a lot of us come from a world where we shade tree, we making money under the table, we ain't really keeping our books up, you know, we just getting paid cash, so we not really keeping account of the cash we making. A lot of us come from that. So we ain't gonna act like we don't come from that. You know what I mean? It ain't like every dollar you done made, you accounted for it. So we ain't playing that game. We already know what time of day it is. However, you get to a certain point to where you're like, hey, you know what? I'm not gonna be operating under the radar. I gotta get on the up and up. I gotta get my business legit. And it's common for a lot of people who work jobs, who got a side hustle, who might do certain things on the weekend. It's common for self-employed people and part-time entrepreneurs who work real jobs, who got side hustles, to make money on the side but never account for that money. They don't add it to their tax returns. It's common. It's common. Just because it's common don't mean it's right. Just because it's regular or ordinary for people to do doesn't mean it's the right way to do it, because you're never putting yourself and your business in a position to be acquisition worthy. That means you're probably never going to exit any role. You're never going to grow as a person or as a business. So the legal position is about making sure you have the right paper trail, tax returns, and your documentation legit, okay? Your commercial position is about how the market views you, or if the market views you. So when I put my business in the best commercial position, what I'm saying is I want to have a market presence. I want to be known by the marketplace as a certain person, as a certain business. I want to have a certain level of integrity and reputation for myself and for my business. Okay, again, commercial position for a business is about how the market views you, or if the market views you. Because I know a lot of business owners, I used to be one of those people, especially when I was pastoring. A lot of people don't care about being known. A lot of people don't care about getting attention for themselves or for their businesses. But what I'm telling you is this is going to play a big role in your business being acquisition worthy. Because when it comes to the acquisition part of your commercial position, you want to have a certain amount or a certain level of goodwill, meaning that when people think about you, when people think about the name of your business, there's some goodwill that come with it. People know what kind of person you are. People know what kind of business you are. People feel good about you and about your business because you have goodwill, all right? So this is about brand awareness and goodwill. Your operational position, this is really about your systems, your processes, making sure you have the right platforms and you're gathering your data, you're putting your KPIs and your metrics together. Also, the operational position of your business is about making sure that you have your core values. You have some type of core values, making sure that you have a vision statement or a mission statement or a standard of practice. These are things that you just want to have for your business. And again, you can figure all this out yourself, or you can go the other route and be mentored and coached and paid to learn this stuff and get this information from people who already did it. Okay, and it doesn't have to be me. There are millions of people out there who have built successful businesses, who have all this stuff, who have templates, who have courses, and who have the resources to give to you. But you can't be stingy, and you can't think you're going to figure all this stuff out yourself. I tried that for years, and it took me way longer to get to where I'm at, and I still regret it. And regret is a strong word, but I'll just say I still have a bad taste in my mouth sometimes when I think about it, because I wish I would have gotten coached and mentored way earlier than I did. All right. Then we have the cultural position. What do we mean by cultural position? Well, this is about your leadership. This is about you as a leader. What kind of culture are you setting? I was telling my students and mentees the other night in our coaching call that if you are a solopreneur, let's say, for example, and you're the only one running the business and you're full time, that means you got all day, every day to run your business and do what you want to do because you fired your boss, right? You fired your boss. You don't work for nobody. Can't nobody tell you nothing. Well, guess what? Culturally speaking, you still have to build a culture for your company, even if it's just you. So that means you should have a schedule every day. When I didn't have a staff, when I didn't have a business that was making money, all I had was an idea and I was just trying to figure out how to build this idea and make it make sense. Guess what? I didn't have a whole lot of gigs and jobs to do and a whole lot of work to do every day and a staff to run. But guess what? I still had to have a schedule. This is when I'm going to get up. This is when I'm going to go, and I'm going to go all this time, and I'm going to invest these many hours a day into my business, working on the things that I need to work on to get my business up and running. That means I can't sleep till 1 o'clock in the afternoon. That means I can't start and then stop and then start and stop and then go goof off and hang out for a while and come back. No, I got to be committed because I got to build a culture now, not when I get people, but I got to build it now. So if you're watching this, you might be confused about some of the stuff I'm talking about. Maybe this, and I say this respectfully, but maybe some of this conversation is going over your head because you like, bruh, I ain't trying to sell no business. I ain't trying to get into acquisitions. You missed the whole memo, bruh. Sis, you missed the whole memo if that's what you're thinking. What I'm talking about is you putting your business in the best position for it to succeed, for it to be so valuable that people are knocking your door down saying, would you even consider selling this business or allowing me to partner with you in this business? Or would you show me, if I paid you, how to get my business that way? So much comes from this, but I'm using this question to show you that you have to make your business acquisition worthy. You got to work on the things in your business that strengthen it, solidify it, and gives it the best opportunity to grow. I'm doing this every day. You should be doing this every day. So I hope today's show on how to become acquisition worthy has helped you. I'm giving you some free game that I give to my clients and to my mentees that pay for us to show up every week on our coaching calls, but I'm giving it to you for free because I want to have the conversation more and I want to get as much attention as I can on the things that I'm doing because I want people to know if they have a business and they're at a point that they're thinking about selling their business, I want them to know there is someone like Ramon Preston who will consider buying my business because that's the type of business that he's in. He's in the acquisition business. So I appreciate y'all for joining the show. Please do me a favor. Leave a comment. Give me some feedback. Let me know what you thought about today's show. What was your biggest takeaway? What did you learn from today's show? Please leave it in the comment. And if you have any questions, you need more information about how you can start this process, maybe you just need to reach out to me and my team, and we'll be more than happy to answer any question you have. Of course, inside of the description, you'll see a link to our free business assessment workbook. The reason why I always like to offer this free workbook because this is like the introduction to getting coached. This is the introduction to getting consulted. So if you know you need a coach, if you know you need to be consulted, if you're working with someone like me, this would be the introduction. I want to show you the things that you need to work on in order to get your business going and growing. And we offer this workbook for free. It's a digital workbook. Inside of this workbook module, there are also some walkthrough videos to walk you through the 5-step process that we use to consult and coach our clients. So you can always download that, print it out, go through it. It may take you about 30 to 45 minutes to answer the questions, to do your own self-assessment, to at least get your mind going on what you need to do to grow and go in your business. And you can also text the word strategy to one of these numbers, and we will give you a free strategy call. That means we'll jump on a call with you. We'll answer any questions that you might have. You might just need a little direction on what you need to do with something, and we'll be more than happy to answer your questions and give you more information. So we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. I hope that your Wednesday for the rest of the day will be amazing, and we'll be back tomorrow, same place, same time, right here, 12 o'clock noon Eastern, on the Ramon Preston Show. Peace. Have an amazing rest.